Good morning, Stashers. Welcome to SSK. Technically, it's day 3, but I'm recording a little bit of video for all about day 2.
Moi, ce que j'aime bien, c'est les glaces à la vanille, les glaces à la fraise, les glaces au chocolat, mais celles que je préfère, c'est les glaces au citron.
Yep, so it's 7 in the morning, and if you see people walking back and forth back there, those are my fellow SSKers. This is awesome. I was so excited yesterday and tired that I recorded content, but it wasn't working, and I remember that, oh my gosh, there are rabbit hairs bouncing around behind me. Let's see if I can catch, forget it. Yes, I was so kind of overwhelmed yesterday that I recorded some content. It wasn't the greatest quality, so I decided not to include it. Because I have to remember that I have my little standards, and the video for day 1 was on point, but the audio wasn't, so my apologies for the kind of weirdness that you were seeing. Wow, okay, iPhone's acting up a little bit. So by all means, this mobile recording setup is not perfect, so I just want to kind of say thank you for bearing with me during the mobile episodes, but the mobile episodes are all about speed of like getting the show together and putting it up so that you guys have as real-time an experience as possible without me recording live somehow. So yes, now I will stop apologizing and tell you about all my day all day yesterday. It's hilarious because Mim58 and Jeanette93 are hanging out in the lobby over there, and people are walking back and forth, and there's so many plurkers and so many Ravelry members obviously just running around my head that I keep meeting people and I'm like, oh my god, I know you but I don't know you, so whatever. So just a mini apology from me to those who I have met and I have no idea who you are by face, and then we start talking and then I remember who you are by online profile. But that's the wonderful world that we live in, right? Yesterday was my class day. I had a class in the morning with Wendy Johnson, and I took her sideways shawl class. She was teaching us kind of the principles and concepts of why it's important, or why it's kind of a good option to work shawls sideways. So this is the little swatch that I kind of finished for that. And it went really, really well. I was in the class with so many people, Simply Me 5252, Prairie Piper, Boutros Babe, Germanic Knitter, and I'm using their Ravelry names because that's how I know them, right? But it's Heather, it's Steve, it's Dorian, it's Paula, it's Mama Teja, Karen's mom, it's like, and people that I hadn't met or bumped into online Ravelry-wise that are in the room with me, and it's a little bit much for my brain to comprehend. But anyway, yes, a lot of people finished their swatches, their mini little mini shawls, and we were talking about using them for as doll shawls or as even headscarves. So I think I'm going to continue with my little swatch. This is made out of Collinette Jitterbug yarn, and I'm probably just going to like slap a little band on here and call it a headband. So let's take a couple pictures, or let's look at a couple pictures of my classmates' work. 2 sample shawls. The top has the short row shaping and the bottom one doesn't. Here's me and Wendy. She's posing in her lovely little green shawl, and here's my work in progress. Go, Kim, go. So the next class that I took yesterday was with Kristen Kapoor. So awesome that I'm meeting these people, and they're as sweet as pie. Wendy was very patient with me during the sideways lace class. Kirsten was equally patient with me because turns out I'm a slow knitter, even slower than I imagined. So while a lot of folks were, so the class was stranded color work, and it was all about obviously working 2 or more colors at a time in your knitting, and our first step was to kind of learn to knit with our non-dominant hand, or to learn to knit in a style opposite to our kind of comfort style. So I normally knit continental, so I had to relearn how to pick. I technically do know how to do it, but you know, I don't do it, so I had to retrain my brain for a little while, and then we moved on to actually doing the stranded color work, which was great, and it was challenging. And Craft Tea, who is from Canada, and I were sitting together, and we were just having a bit of a time retraining our hands, so she and I kind of powered through the color work part. So this is my measly progress to show you from yesterday's class. Not very impressive, I know, but other more intrepid knitters in the class including My Girl Robot, Froggy Monkey, Lala. Who else was in the class with us? Lots of other people were in the class with us, and I can't remember their names right now. They were just like speeding along. So they actually learned to do Latvian braids, and they learned to do corrugated ribbing, and they learned to do, I forget what the technique is called, but basically if you have a long color run in your color work, they learned a tip for picking up in the back so that you don't have a long strand in the back. So let's take a couple of pictures. Let's look at a couple of pictures of their progress because they were so much better than mine. So these are my new friend Craftee's fingernails. This is Girl Robot's work, and here's a bunch of our fun friends learning how to do their color work. Fun class. I'm holding my hand up because it's a little bit windy and I'm trying to be aware of the sound quality for you guys. So, okay, yesterday, what else did I do? Yesterday was my big class day, so then if you guys are on the SSK board in Ravelry, there was the concept of breakout sessions, which I thought was so brilliant. So the breakout sessions are all about real people, not that our designer friends are not real, but real people just kind of like getting together in groups and talking about special interest topics. So I kind of sort of moderated a panel of podcasters, and it was amazing because it actually turned up to be like we were doing a live podcast. So we had, let's see if I remember in order, we had Fiber Nymph Dye Works, we had Dramatic Knits, we had, I'm blanking now, I can see her face. We had Ooh Fancy Pants, then we had me, then we had both of the Stockinette Zombies, then we had Prairie Piper, Paula, Piper's, whatever, I can't speak right now, Paula, Prairie Piper, and we had Diane of Knittables, and we had Stealth Dragon of Knit Run Dig, and we had a couple other people sneak in that I can't remember their names right now, who were all the podcasters. So we had like a power podcasting hour. Leslie from the Knit Girls snuck in and watched us but didn't participate in the panel, but it was really kind of inspiring to be talking about podcasting while watching one of our favorite podcasters. And we just did a Q&A on how to podcast, you know, what the considerations are technically and also kind of mentally, and how to kind of keep yourself healthy as a podcaster, how to reach out to people, how to stay true to your own kind of voice, tips on organizing your show. It was amazing. It was an hour long, and after the session, people came up to us and said, wow, it was like watching a live podcast. People that weren't even interested in starting their own podcast said they really just wanted to kind of see a live podcast. So I thought that was great. And I was so nervous and flustered during the whole thing that, you know, all the other podcasters were working on things on the panel, and halfway through I'm like, oh, I should be working on something too. So I whipped out my my striped study shawl, which I'm still working on, and was so flustered that I couldn't remember where to put my wrap and turns. I'm just not good in public sometimes. And the other bad thing about that session is I brought a whole bag of like candy and goodies with like my buttons and stickers and candy, and I forgot to pass it out to the audience members. So like I just was all over the place. But it was so much fun. It was so much fun. So that was my day class-wise yesterday, and I also stopped by the gift shop of Scarlett Bennett Campus, and I think I'm going to hold off on talking about that until later today. Just because today I only have a class with Karen, and I'm free to actually be a retreater, right? So I'm free to actually sit and knit and just relax. So I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, so we'll see you later today for an episode about today. If you can't craft it, you can stash it. More people walking by. It's awesome. All right, see you guys later.